Good morning and welcome. It is Monday. It is 7:30. It is the 16th day of 2021. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM, and it is Monday, which means it is time for the RPG news. But first, I have to make a correction regarding how many seasons Jodie Whittaker has served as the Doctor. I was incorrect. She has served 3 seasons as the Doctor, going into her 3rd season-ish, and plus a couple specials. But she is already. This will be her last season as the Doctor. She'll be stepping down after this one. Okay, in other gaming news, of course, we must first mention the passing of Steve Perrin, who passed away the other day at the age of 75. We do not know the causes. One of the founding elder statesmen of gaming. Another one has left us slightly poor. He was the creator of RuneQuest, All the World's Monsters, and one of the very first champions of the idea of sandboxing. Our condolences to his family and friends. Wizards of the Coast has released a picture of what Warduke is going to look like in the new Feywild book. We don't have stats yet. I believe last time Warduke was statted out, he was just an 8th level fighter with some magic items. Who knows what he will look like in Feywild, or what's he doing in the wild beyond the Witchlight? How he went from cartoon / action figure to prowling around in 5th edition module thingy. I guess like everybody in regards to Warduke, I hope they explain how he can wear half a suit of armor. And it doesn't fall off. As you've ever seen the pictures of Warduke or the figure, he has got a plate mail on one arm and a plate mail on one leg, and a weird-looking plate mail helmet with bat wings, and everything else he's wearing is sort of barbarian leather. So we're not quite sure how he can wear half of an armor and what benefits, if any, wearing half an armor gives you. I mean, I guess, maybe the plate mail is sewn onto the leather. Somehow it doesn't fall off. Magic. Wouldn't that be nice if that was the only story? The mystery of Warduke's clothes. We have a downloadable, available quick start rules for the 13th Age 2nd edition available over at Pellegrin Press's website. We have a downloadable quick start for the new Doctor Who coming up over at that website, Crucible 7. So both of those are available as of today if you want to download the quick start rules for 13th Age or for the new Doctor Who role-playing game. Those are both available on their respective companies' websites. Pellegrin Press for 13th Age, Crucible 7 for Doctor Who. The 2021 Emmy nominations and Judges Spotlight winners are up if you're interested in taking a look. We talked about those yesterday in a very long vlog. We will have the nominations are going to be up. They'll finalize them, and then they'll put the voting up in a week or two so we can all vote on which ones we think should win the various topics. We also have Magpie Games has released a preview of the upcoming Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, the record-smashing Avatar, the last Airbender role-playing game over at Magpie Games website. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And if you weren't aware of it, the Kickstarter for Avatar, The Last Airbender, or Avatar Legends, or whatever they're finally going to call it, has shattered all records for Kickstarters for a tabletop role-playing game, making over 3 million plus and still going. EM Publishing is kickstarting Over the Hill Part 2, a collection of towns. We have another Level 5 Advanced 5e update up. They're working on the monster tools now, and it should just be a matter of a week before they actually get the thing ready to start kickstarting. The Beetle and Grimm Silver Edition of Van Richter's Guide to Ravenloft is, of course, now available for like $200. Blah, blah, blah. Mophidius has had a busy week. We have the Fallout post-nuclear tabletop role-playing game, which is now available. Now, some of you are confused because you might be going, but wait, that's already out. But that was first a PDF version, and second, there was a miniature game with the same name that a lot of people mistake for a role-playing game, because the rule book for the miniature Fallout role-playing game looked a lot like a rule book for a role-playing game. So even though it was a miniature game, a lot of people were mistaken that was the role-playing game, and they are intertwined. Plus, there was a PDF that was available months ago, but now we have the physical edition of the Fallout role-playing game available, as well as the Fallout miniature game still being out there somewhere. We've also got another one announcement. Mophidius, whose name I will never say correctly, has their super duper box set for the Star Trek Adventure role-playing game coming out. This super duper box set looks like a tricorder, and it comes with dice, cards, counters, and all the rules you need to play Star Trek The Adventures, as well as individual volumes for both the player guide and the game master's guide for the same thing if you don't want to buy the super cool box set that looks like a tricorder. Two big releases have come out from Battletech. There's a name we haven't heard from a while. We have a new setting book coming out for Battletech called iClan, which updates the current timeline of the Battletech universe. And there we have the VTF, will be, of course, available as well. And then there's a updated version of the Strategic Operations Rulebook for Battletech, the War Game. There is a Battletech role-playing game and a Battletech tabletop war game. So that will the Battletech Strategic Operations will update the war game to the current rules, and the iClan for the role-playing game will update the role-playing game to the current rules / timeline for that universe. Okay, Gen Con has once again updated their health policy, backtracking on the previous health policy, which was a backtrack on the health policy before that. So, yes, masks will be required for any of the physical manifestations of Gen Con in September. That's September 16th through 19th. Masks will be required if you go to the pop-up Gen Cons or the actual Gen Cons for all internal events. You'll have to wear the mask unless you're eating and drinking if you're inside, and any super crowded outdoor events like, I guess, live action or concerts or whatever. This is for the Gen Con at the actual hotel, the pop-up Gen Cons, and obviously if you're doing Gen Con online, you don't have to wear a mask, but who knows. So if you weren't familiar with the pop-up Gen Cons, what that is individual game stores have a chance to sort of be sponsored by Gen Con. If they fill out the proper paperwork, and I'm sure there's some money involved, you can become a pop-up Gen Con host at your game store, and they'll send you a whole bunch of stuff so you can run Gen Con approved games and do Gen Con related shenanigans at your game store. All that information, of course, can be found on the Gen Con website. And I think I'm losing my voice. Yay, summer. Oh, WizKids has announced a line of plush toys based on the iconic Dungeons & Dragons monsters. These cuddly toys will start being available at the beginning of September, running a reasonable $15. And as well as they'll have smaller ones that you can clip onto your backpack. So we'll have plushy toys and then smaller ones for like backpack clipping on. And they've got a picture of the backpack beholder, and oh, it is adorable. And hey, if you ever wanted to do some live action Dungeons and Dragons, Nerf has announced their Dragon Power line of Nerf weapons. which includes the Fire Shot Dart Pistol and the Skyblaze Dart Bow and the Ember Strike Blaster. I don't know really how these are D&D or even role-playing game related, but I guess maybe they're going to say D&D on the box. I mean, one just looks like a normal Nerf blaster, except it's red, and it's a vaguely draconic design. The bow and the handheld one also just sort of look like normal Nerf things, just sort of reskinned to look vaguely draconic, being bright red and have some flame designs on them. But I guess you could, supposedly, if you were running a store that had these, you could say, hey, they're D&D Nerfs now. We have some updates from various game companies about the issues with the shipping company. Steve Jackson Games has posted an update called Freight and Extinction Level Event. Global shipping is a nightmare right now because of COVID, of course. We've talked about this repeatedly. As always, I could say something's coming out, but those dates are tentative, as always. Any information I give you regarding published product, or pretty much any product, like these Nerf things, is tentative because of the whole shipping industry backlog. It is a logistics nightmare because basically you're a year behind. Humble Bumble has announced actually a new project for this week. We have the Mutant Chronicles books up over on Humble Bumble, and also we have them hacked to the 2D20 system and Savage Worlds. So if you're ever interested in the Mutant Chronicles universe role-playing games, you can get them over at Humble Bumble, and that benefits the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. The 13th Age Treasure Maps Adventures Bundle, featuring an entire library of books, is still going on. That runs till the end of this month, and that benefits Oceana, supporting the reduction, a charity that supports the reduction of plastic pollution. We have the Starfinder bundle still going. That bundle benefits the Comic Books for Kids charity. And we have a Judge Dredd digital comics and graphic novels Humble Bumble that is going live. And we also have a bundle of strategy games, including Battletech from Harebrained Schemes. That's a video game. And also up over at Humble Bumble. So a lot of good RPG, TTRPG stuff available on Humble Bumble. Of course, the top news again is the passing of the very creative, influential Steve Perrin. And apparently there is an article now floating around where somebody tries to explain how multiclassing works in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, of course, being around for the past 6 years now. You think they would have figured it out by now, but I guess some people are still confused of how multiclassing actually works in 5e. If after almost 6 years you haven't figured it out, you're probably not going to. We also have an announcement that WizKids is taking pre-orders for the Drizzt and the Companion of the Hall minis. So if you want your very own D&D collectors, WizKids Gale Force 9 minis depicting the various individuals of heroes from the infamous Drizzt adventures, that should be available any day now. That's WizKids and Gale Force 9 working together to put it out. Not sure how that works, but whatever. They're all making stuff for D&D. So yeah. Now, of course, these figures predate the recent restructure of the Drizzt mythology that R.A. Salvatore is now addressing. So I don't know, maybe these characters don't exist anymore in the current Drizzt timeline, but still pretty good figures. Not great. If you want some looking Drizzt barbarian figure and a Bruno Battlehammer figure, a Wolfcar and Cattlebray figure to spice up your figure collection, check this out. And that's about it. So our condolences to the friends and family of Steve Perrin. I hope you appreciate this week's news. If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming. Till next time, stay safe, stay hydrated. It's going to be very hot today, and I will talk to you later.